So this is an Elddis Avante 574, going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. The hitch up procedure we'll go through in person here on site, demonstrate how to hook it up onto the car, the handbrake and the jockey wheel. Front locker of the van, you've got your gas bottle tie downs, which you can hold two 6kg propane gas bottles in, and with your gas regulator up on the bulkhead also. Side of the van, you've got your water pump connection, as you can see here, with your mains feed, water feed going into the side of the van and dropping into your aqua roll itself. You've got your battery box and your mains leisure lead coming out the side of the van also. And behind there you've got your power key for the motor mover itself. And before the end of the video you'll actually see the motor mover in operation to show you it's all working as it should. Then got the wheel nuts and the motor mover. Like I said, the motor mover I'll come back to later on in the video. But the wheel nuts, before the caravan leaves site, will be torqued to 120 Newton meters. Next up is the toilet cassette locker. So you access the toilet cassette by opening the door here. You pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. You've got an orange neck here that turns out with a grey cap on it. The grey cap is actually a measure for your blue fluid. On the back of the toilet cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button to allow the pressure out to the cassette as you're tipping the waste away. The grey pipes that you see here coming out the side of the van, so the fresh water goes in the front, the wastewater has to come out somewhere, and that's where it comes out just there. So you'll have two bits of grey pipe that will locate into these holes around the outside here, and they'll drop down into the waste master for the caravan. On the back of the caravan you've got two wind down legs, so the same as what you've got on the front side of the van, and you'll also have one on the opposite side of the van as well. These legs, you'll never lift the caravan with them, they are just there for stabilising the van. When you're on site, if you did lift the caravan with them, you could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. At the back of the van, on the door side, you've got a storage locker for storage of items as you're travelling to and from your sites. And then you've got your fridge vents behind the door also. Them fridge vents will allow hot air out the fridge unit. And on the top one here you've actually got a gas flue also for if you're running the fridge on gas. Again, you've got your wheel and motor mover on this side, but like I said I'll come back to them later in the video. And then you've got your wind down leg for this side of the van also. Going inside the van, our cleaners haven't had a chance to get in here yet, but I'm getting in to get the video done for you, so you've got that before the weekend. So inside of the caravan, by the door, we've got the main control panel. You've got your main power switch on here, you've got your interior lights, and you've got your awning light for the outside of the van. And when I press this button here, it will wake the control panel up, and you'll see that everything comes up. I'll explain all of this in a moment to you when we come back to it. To fill the water system on this particular caravan, we're going to come underneath the seat, or underneath the sink in the cabinet down here, and you'll actually see this yellow valve. Now you'll notice on the floor the previous owner has wrote open and drain valve closed. Now when the drain valve is closed you can actually fill the water system up on board the van, and when it's open it'll actually drain all the water out and straight onto the floor underneath the caravan. To fill the water system you'd come to each tap on board the van, open all the taps up on the hot side of the water heater, hot side of the tap for the water. As you can see I've already filled the system on this particular van, but you'd open all them taps up. So that's the tap on the sink in the kitchen, the tap on the shower, and the tap in the washroom on this side. Once you've got that tap open, you can come to the control panel by the door, as long as your aqua roll is connected, and hit pump ready. That water system will then start filling up from the aqua roll on the outside of the van. And once the water system is full, and you've got water running out of every tap on the van, you can shut each tap off, and you'll be able to start warming the water on board the caravan. You would never turn on the water heating until the water system is full, due to the fact it could actually burn out the element inside the tank on the van. So the control panel here by the door, you've got your option to warm your water up. You've got Eco, which is around 35 to 40 degrees. You need to turn that one, oh, there we go. You need to put it on to 3.3 here as well, and that will warm up on the Eco setting. You've got a frost protection mode here also. Never rely on it because they have been known to fail in the past, so you'd always drain down the water system, but essentially that system there, if it ever froze, it actually dumped the water straight out the bottom of the caravan rather than keeping it in the system. But like I said, I'd always recommend draining the system down completely. But going back to the hot water system, you've got your Eco hot water, so that's around 30 degrees of water temperature. You've got your 3.3 amp here down the bottom. You'll be able to run that on any site you go to, and essentially that will warm the water system up to around 40 to 50 degrees of water temperature. You've got the off mode for the water system, so if you want to turn it all off, you can do that by pressing off. And then on this side, you've got a timed boost, which times for 45 minutes on this particular van. So when you're showering on board the van, you'd need to make sure you turn that on so it boosts the water system and keeps the water system nice and hot as you're having a shower. You can also run the water systems on gas by pressing the gas option on the right hand side. It will work as a time boost anytime you use the water system on gas. It won't completely operate off the gas system like the heating will. Turn all the systems off, you press the off button just here for the water heating itself. The next option we've got here is the room temperature. So you've got the room temperature here. You go all the way through the heating, you go right up to the 35 degrees, I believe it is on this fan. So you can control the temperature there. Now, depending on what site you're on, you've got 500, 1000 or 2000 watts of power available, and you'd select the relevant power source for the caravan site you're on. Here on site, we can only run a maximum of 1000 watts, but I'm just going to demonstrate it on the 500 watts for now. If you want to run the heating and heating on gas, you can select the gas option here at the top, or you can run it as a combination of gas and electric at the same time if you haven't got the 11.3 amps of power available. Like I said, all these power will, depending on what you run these on, will depend on the caravan site you're on. If you want to turn the heating off, you can press the off button at the bottom. You can also select your fans, so it puts on the fans around the caravan once you've selected your heating temperature just here. And if you want to use a bit of cool air inside the van, you can select the cool air mode here at the bottom. It isn't air conditioning, but it will just blow some cool air around the van through the vents around it. Like I said, here you've got your water pump right at the bottom, and then you've got your timed heating and hot water here, which you can set by pressing and holding here, and it will take you eventually into the options for the water system itself. And then you've got your leisure battery voltage at the bottom right hand side of the screen. To run the fridge, it's very simple to do. You've got your power button here, so you can turn the fridge on. You've got your 240 mains on the left hand side, and you control the temperature of the fridge with the button just here. You've got your option to run gas just here, so you can run the gas systems. Get the fridge on gas, it will self-ignite on gas, and if it ever failed to ignite, it'd flash the blue light here and the red warning triangle on the right hand side. To control the temperature of the fridge on gas or mains, you'd use the button on the right hand side. When you're travelling down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box to get the beers and wine nice and cold for when you get on site, you can press the 12 volt battery mode here. That will only work when you connect it to the car you are towing with. It will not work from the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. Like I said, that will all operate from either 240 volt gas or 12 volt as you're towing down the road. The microwave in this particular caravan is an eco microwave, so you need to press the eco button here to get the microwave to wake up. It will always turn itself off after about 5 minutes or so, just so it doesn't drain the power or draw too much power from the site you're on when it's not needed. Down below, you've got your gas hob, electric hob, and your gas grill and oven. Go through to the toilet system next in the bathroom. Toilet system is very easy to use on this particular caravan. You've got an electric flush on the toilet system, which will run off the water system from the front of the van. And then down below the toilet, you've got a grey waste handle, which essentially allows the toilet waste to go in the cassette underneath the van. The toilet seat, very simply, does turn for your convenience. However, when you are removing the toilet cassette from underneath the van, or in the side of the van, you do need to make sure it's pointing straight back across the van. It actually has a lockout on the toilet cassette, so when it's turned, it won't actually allow the toilet cassette to be removed in case the toilet is being used at that point in time. The next part of the video you're going to see is a motor mover demonstration from the outside of the caravan.